Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series here at Chicagoland Speedway. We're back here at the circle track here, the 1.5 mile circle. I'm not even going to call it a tri-oval. I see this thing as a circle, so that's what I'm going to call it. But it's going to be 120 laps here. This is race number 5 here on the season. So after this, we will be in the second half of the season because you got only a 9-race season here to wrap up the 2025 year. We got Chicagoland here tonight, Daytona. Going to head out to Kern Raceway and be the first one, I believe, on CRN. First time we'll see the Kern Raceway, Texas Motor Speedway, and then the finale at Michigan, wrapping up on December 11th. So going to be the second half of the year coming up, but we got to finish Chicagoland first. Taking a look at the point standings here real quick, as of course I just minimize it like a moron, but we'll get it back up here, and there we go. Point standings so far heading into tonight, it is Eric Blunt leading the way by 2 points over Cade Green. Michael Pratt another 2 points back, another 2 back to Tyler Hilton. Timothy Lee for the top 5 here on the season. We've had looks like we're still missing Talladega from those standings, so those standings may not be 100% official, but it is race number 5 here tonight. We'll see who's got the hot shoe to get it done here in the Midwest. Carl Hanworth joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, back here, took a week off here for the VVR Xfinity Series, but we're back here in action to wrap up the first half of the season.
Yeah, midway point here for VVR, and a few new faces out here as we get 14 drivers on docket here tonight, getting ready to get their qualifying in. Got about a little over a minute left here, but right now it looks like Robert Kahn has the provisional pole. Still Michael Pratt and Cade Green with some time left to get a lap in if they would like, but they've been starting towards the back as of lately, especially the 77 of Michael Pratt. That's his MO. But right now it's looking good. It's definitely a fun little track. It's we got a little time out there. Ran about 10-15 laps out there as a ghost car, just running around the drivers out here. A lot of fun. The car was pretty stable. You can, if you're not careful, wear out your front right or your right rear, just depending on how you are with entering and exiting the corners. And you could also spin it coming out if you get on the, if you upset the car, get down on that apron in the middle of the corner. A lot of drivers will come down below the onto the apron, down across that tri-ovalish area. I don't know what to call it. It's like a front stretch, but it's not real straight here.
Yeah, there's nothing really straight about this track at all, as I get a little bit of straightaways, I guess, coming to the tri-oval part of it, but it's a fast track out here, and lap times right around the mid to low 30-second range, so should see this race go by pretty quickly if we get what we typically get here in virtual velocity racing. A lot of green flag runs, and more often than not, we see this thing go green to checkered, so we'll see what they got in store for us here tonight. We got our starting order. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown of that 14-car starting order tonight?
Our 14-car field is as follows. On the pole will be Robert Kahn on number 21, and alongside will be Len McNeese in number 84. Row number 2 will be made up of Dustin Franklin with Dalton Kilroe, James Yeager, and John Garrett there for row number 3. EJ Luna and Mike Hasty for row number 4. Eric Blount and Tim Lee in row number 5. Tyler Hilton and Austin Corwell back there in row number 6, and then Cade Green and Michael Pratt making up the final row number 7 here tonight at Chicagoland Motor Speedway. So the drivers are down on the track right now, lining up, getting ready to go, just waiting for the whole field to actually get out there. Got missing John Garrett, EJ, and Cade just still waiting to take the grid. Once the grid is done, they'll be good to go. If not, those drivers will get left behind and have to start out of the pits, which can make things difficult here, as VVR tends to go a little bit green here on most cases. So Yeah, I don't know exactly where they're at. Last minute, restroom break. I don't know. Got a few seconds left here, about 20 more seconds before the field will start. Does look like EJ got out there, Mr. John Garrett and Kate Green, to begin this race. Carl down in the broadcast waiting room. I don't know what he's waiting on.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back here just trying to get something clarified here. Didn't get an answer, unfortunately. But we are ready to get some racing in here. The pace car is rolling here. We got the field of 14 ready to go, and real interested to see what these new drivers out here can do. I know Dustin Franklin is a little bit newer here to the series, but we got 3 brand new faces that we mentioned we haven't seen before: James Yerger, EJ Luna, and Austin Cornwell. So we'll see what they can do out here with a pretty racy bunch. I mean, I know we say that they go green to checkered a lot of times, but it doesn't mean there's not some good hard racing and even some bumping and banging sometimes between some of the top drivers. But Robert Kahn is going to lead them to the green flag here tonight. Good qualifying effort there from Len McNeese on the outside of the front row as well. Dustin Franklin, Dalton Kilrow in the second row. We'll see if Kilrow can get up there and get it done here tonight. He's certainly one to watch every time we're out here for the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series or any series that VVR has. But pace car, lights are out, making that hard, late left-hand turn down into pit road and just clearing that caution cone, or the pit entry cone, as we are going to get the green flag here. We're racing at Chicagoland.
Underway and green here is Robert Kahn getting out front there in that green air, or clean air, and it's not dirty, but the outside gets those runs off the corner call, and you see Len McNeese already charging ahead, take the early lead here as they come out of turn number 4. Looks like Len McNeese will get the first lap led here tonight at Chicagoland.
Yeah, and a good start there for John Garrett as well. Started back in 6th position, already up to 2nd place. So you want to talk about getting those tires fired off right away, and maybe some extra practice for the 66 here at Chicagoland, since this is where I believe he wants to make his return to the ARCA series in real life. So I'm sure he's getting pretty familiar here with the track. Already up to 2nd place. Dalton Kilrow picking up 1 spot here on the start of the race, up into 3rd. EJ Luna already up 3 spots as well. He's up into 4th position now in the 14. Robert Kahn kind of going the opposite way. It looked like he had a decent start and then started sliding back there just on the bottom of the track. And I feel like probably down there just letting those tires slowly come up to temperature. Doesn't want to burn off any tires. He knows how these cars can be on the long run. He knows a lot of times we do get a long run here. So more often than not, you see Robert Kahn kind of drifting back in the early part of the run, and then we see him working his way up through there. Dalton Kilrow, on the other hand, we see him a lot of times charge towards the front and stay out front. I don't know where he's got the sustained speed, sustained power, but you see him already running down Len McNeese, who's already passed by John Garrett. So new leader out front is 66.
Yeah, and maybe Len was like, maybe I'm pushing too hard, because he was starting to walk away there a little bit. So start just kind of wrangle the car back in. If you got a fast car for the evening, you really don't want to chew up them tires super early. You will fall back. The tires do fall off. They can run 30s, Carl, but race pace is more 31 to 32. So you really got to take care of them tires to kind of keep that average down. If not, you'll find yourself in the higher 32s and falling backwards. But right now, top 3 kind of making their way. Dalton Kilrow looking to make maybe a move there on the 84, but that just takes his time. Nice and easy. 2 different lines here. Plenty of track to race on, as you'll see. Multiple lanes here tonight. Go back here with the newcomer EJ Luna back in the number 14. Currently up 3 spots and working their way around the track here as well. 13. It's actually a 73 of Dustin Franklin It's hard to see up here through the cameras. Sitting there in P number 5. So everybody doing a pretty good job. Let's see who's that on the outside. Oh, it's Tyler Hilton making some moves there around Robert Kahn, using a little bit higher line. Just, you know, hopefully everybody's paying attention and you kind of, the outside will sneak up on you because you don't think anybody's up there taking that line. But Tyler Hilton has been running the higher lines on most of these tracks and been doing pretty well as long as as long as he doesn't touch the wall.
Well, last time out, we seen absolute domination at Richmond with Dalton Kilroe getting the win by 1 lap over everybody as things played out exactly the way the 41 wanted to have it. He led 86 out of the 140 laps there at Richmond, but beat the entire field by 1 lap, and really only the top 4, well, or should I say second, third, and fourth were 1 lap down. Everybody else was 2 or more laps down. So it was complete domination for the 51 getting his first win, or the 41 getting his first win on the season. But he's got some company as he was up there in second. But Tyler Hilton is on a roll here, and he's got the 02 around the 41 and now around the 66, who are both battling it for second place now because the 02 to the point.
Yeah, running the higher line here, Carl. He hasn't jobbed down below that second seam very much at all. So running the outer portion of the track and really making it work here for the O2. And you know, looking at fuel mileage here for tonight, looking probably at least 3 stops under green, depending on how much they save. It does start getting tight towards the end here, so we're going to see how well they manage their tires, when they decide to come in, if cautions are going to come out. But you know, like we said, we've seen them go green fairly long here at VVR, and the battle end is still happening here, but just doing a great job, giving each other space, taking their time, you know, take the positions when they can, and not forcing anything as of yet.
Well, it seems like everybody is kind of concertinaed back together, and we got certainly a battlefield right here from the third position all the way back to maybe 10th, 11th, 12th position right now, and even Michael Pratt kind of hanging on to the back of that in 12th. So certainly a battlefield. There's a 21 and 72 get close to getting into each other now. How about 3 wide? As you mentioned, Len McNeese maybe using up those tires a little bit early. Well, I think he's starting to feel it already. All the way back here now, back in the battlefield, and right behind the 66, who may have used up his tires a little bit as well, also falling back. So we'll see how long Tyler Hilton can hold on out front. May not be long because Dalton Kilroe is already looking to make the pass.
Yeah,
I apologize. Looking at the time is going wrong. That's actually Eric Blunt looking to make the pass for second place.
Yeah, Eric Blunt moving the 6 up through, getting around Dalton Kilroe. And, you know, Dalton just might be like plenty of race left, obviously. Only on lap 12 of 120. A bit of blinking there by Eric. So I can't be on him too long. But, yeah, just doing a good job right now. But Tyler Hilton out the 2.5 second lead on the field.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the tires at all.
No,
or he's figured out something that works absolutely to a dream. But he is out there trying to check out from everybody, and looking pretty good right now. 2.7 seconds now is the lead back to Eric Blunt in second place.
It's probably good to mention he's up 10 spots too.
Yeah, that's that. You know, he just passed almost the entire field already in 13 laps, and even less than that. I think he picked up basically a position a lap going through the field here. But yeah, 2.7 second lead over Eric Blunt, Dalton Kilroe, EJ Luna, and Dustin Franklin for your top 5. Then you got Mike Hasty, Robert Kahn, Cade Green, James Yerger, and Michael Pratt up into the top 10 early on here, just kind of waiting, biding his time. He's got 2 wide in front of him, looking at the back of James Yerger, and he's got the 19. I'm sorry, yeah, looking at the back of James Yerger, 19 of Cade Green right to the outside.
Yeah, just trying to feel his way. Obviously, you know, not trying to get involved or cause any incidents. So you hear him lifting there for quite a bit. I mean, you have to lift, obviously, to get these cars kind of rotated. And it's more of a lift and catch the car about 50%. to get a little bit of pressure back on that rear end and to get that weight to shift so you can rotate it nice and easily. But yeah, you see some drivers coming down below on the apron and down the front stretch, and some not. I tried both while I was practicing. It's kind of a smooth transition from down there on the apron up to the track, so it's definitely not difficult. Just got to be careful you don't get caught down there by somebody racing on your outside, and then you'll be letting off in order to make turn number 1, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's some tracks that can get very violent getting down there on the apron, even though it can and is used. But here at Chicagoland, it's not too terrible, the difference between the flat apron on the front stretch and the banking. But out front, the lead still holding strong at 2.6 seconds here early on, and you see the gap. I mean, you see everybody kind of under a blanket here from second on back. But Tyler Hilton just kind of running his own race out there out front. So good look for the Gold Line Guardians number 02, and shout out to them for the series sponsorship here, along with Forward Screen Printing and Hilton Crafts and Designs.
Yeah, it's good to see Tyler get out there. I think you're right, Carl. He's found something here tonight that's working. Obviously, kind of maintaining his gap right now. So Eric Blount and Dalton Kilroe are matching, but obviously back a few seconds. Closed in just a little bit that lap, not even at like 500ths of a second, and and that doesn't seem like much, but they start adding up, and we're about to break into the 20th lap here soon, so still got 101 laps here remaining at Chicago, so plenty of racing. Welcome race fans as normal. Shout out to everybody out there. See Mediocre Racing's out there, and Barry as well.
Looks like the field is all still close to each other. The relative is all pretty much in the orange throughout the pack here, and it's still very close. But for the most part, not too much battling going on. I think the only battle may be right behind John Garrett here, and that's between Austin Cornwell and Tim Lee, battling for 13th to 14th, which Cornwell just making that pass to move himself into 13th. Biggest mover of the race, well, both of them are first and second right now. Tyler Hilton up 10 spots, Eric Blunt up 7 spots, and then Robert Kahn going the other way. He is down 7 spots. Len McNeese started in at second, and he's down 9 spots in 11th place. John Garrett also started up there and led a few laps in the beginning, but now he's down 6 spots into 12th. So some big movers and shakers. Not a single driver on the track is where they started, Jimmy.
No, not one. Not even close. I mean, Dalton Kilroe up +1 and Austin Corwell -1. It's about the closest people got to the positions gained. So, yeah, a lot of Austin Corwell had looks like I don't know him or know them, I should say, very very well or at all. It's the first time I think I've seen them out on a track, and just kind of looking at their iRating, not saying, just know that he's a newer driver here at iRacing, I would assume. But I have not gotten a chance to talk to Austin yet. But, maybe out there, burned up them tires early, and it's easy to do when you're new to this, to ovals. If you're not sure how much input you need, when you should be braking, when you should be lifting, how you should be applying the throttle. If you get anything longer than a 10 to 15 lap run, which is probably a long time in the officials, you don't get a chance to apply how to do that stuff over a long period of time. And then here at VVR, obviously, they do a lot of green flag runs, pretty much the whole tank. Should be seeing cars coming in within the next 10 laps or so, I would imagine. So we'll see how the drivers kind of fish this thing up. Maybe go 30 laps, maybe 31, 32 laps, and break this thing up. But that's what it's looking like. About to probably around 33 to 35 laps would be my guess.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, do that thing, hit that like and subscribe, and help the YouTube algorithm for the video here, get this out there, and hopefully get a little bit more attention to the Virtual Velocity Racing League, as I know this is kind of their off-season series, and they're certainly got some of the locals and the regulars waiting for the real season to get a kickback off in 2026, and just kind of waiting out this season. But it's definitely a good league to look into for 2026. I know they're kind of picky and choosy to make sure that they got the right kind of drivers that they want here in the series, and they've done a good job. There's a reason why it's a lot of green flag racing week in and week out, and they certainly got the right crop of drivers in here. Doesn't make it easy at all. But we got our first round of pit stops here, as looks like fuel only for the O2. And looks like maybe 4 tires for the 6 of Eric Blunt, or no, maybe looks like fuel, but also still
black
sitting
flag.
there. So,
Black flag.
I didn't see the black flag. I have it covered up right now. Well, that 40-second hold for Eric Blunt, who's running in second. That hurts right there, as now we'll see Austin Cornwell in that to the pits. Dalton Kilrow is your leader. EJ Luna now in second. Dustin Franklin, Mike Hasty, and Cade Green for your top 5. But I believe we're at the front end of the pit cycle, and that got mighty close on the pit entry. I don't know how they survived that one, but we do get it down in there. I know Dustin Franklin got really close there. He's got to back off because he got to get into his pit stall, and may even be a little damage to the back end of that 14 right there, the way it looks.
Yeah, just a little bit. See a crinkle on that back right, and looks like he doesn't have the fast repair on, so he should be okay, Carl. But just save that fast repair for something more important. But right now, just fuel only for most of these cars. Down and away, get back out there, keep things going. Dalton Kilrow is out there right now, getting around the field here as those drivers that were in the pits he just went by. I'll go ahead and pull this up, and you can see how many people are a lap down, starting with Tyler Hilton, Robert Kahn, Craig Green, Tim Lee, all just coming in the pits right now. But Kilrow still out there along with Jaeger. I want to say Jaeger because well, I used to drink Jaeger.
Feels right.
Yeah, and it just feels right.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not Jaeger. It's Jaeger.
It's like I want to call Austin Cornwell, but there's no N. It's just
no
Cornwell.
N. No, just Cornwell.
So yeah, it looks like the entire field now down a lap, other than Kilrow and Jaeger. So we'll see when they decide to make their pit stops. But a good early run here. It's going to get them maybe to that lap 30 mark, and that could be very big. Jimmy, we got a 120 lap race. You make it to 30. That adds up to maybe one less pit stop for these drivers.
Yeah, it could be one less pit stop, or like I said, I was pretty sure the window's right around 33 to 34. They might just not want to get short pit on too much, so just stretch it out to 30, so they don't have to save fuel. Some of the other drivers might be electing to save a little more fuel this next round here, and maybe come in around lap 60 or so. We'll find out, but that's Dalton Kilrow, James Jaeger in the pits right now. They come in together. Tyler Hilton about ready to go by down the front stretch here, so it's going to be pretty close with Dalton Kilrow on his way out now, but it does look like Tyler Hilton is going to resume the lead here after the pit stops.
And it was about a 1.7 second lead for Tyler Hilton when they started the pit cycle here. Looks like it's going to be that again, but it's Dustin Franklin now in second place, because Eric Blunt back in 14th position after the pit road penalty. He's down one lap, only driver down a lap right now to the field. So if a caution were to come out, he's good to go with the lucky dog, unless he's involved in it. But Dustin Franklin in second, EJ Luna now in third, Mike Casey, Dalton Kilrow for your top 5, Len McNeese, Robert Kahn, John Garrett, James Jaeger, Michael Pratt for your top 10, then Tim Lee, Cade Green, Austin Corwell, and Eric Blunt for your 14 car field.
Real solid run here tonight for the drivers here at VVR as they tackle on Chicagoland. Obviously, you see the pit stop cycle get completed here, and you can see the interval. There's still tons of racing on the track here. A lot of drivers still within a second of one another. Only ones kind of alone there is Tyler Hilton out front by a little over a second and a half. But Dustin Franklin even has his hands full with EJ Luna right behind him by 0.3 of a second. And then you got Mike Hasty, Dalton Kilrow back there, along with Robert Kahn and Len McNeese. They're in 7th now. John Garrett in 8th. James Yerger, that was close in 2nd there during the pit stops, is down back in 9th. Michael Pratt riding in 10th.
Yeah, I know we talked about some of the drivers maybe driving the tires off early on in the race and kind of find their way back to the back of the field then because of it. But you look at the top times here so far, and you look at the times for everybody in the field. We've seen in qualifying, I believe the entire field was in the 30-second range. Here tonight, so far, only one driver has got a sub 31-second lap, and that's your leader, Tyler Hilton, had a 30.97. So as much as we think maybe some of them running the tires a little bit rough in the beginning, I don't really know if that's the case, because it all seems like they've kind of settled into a mid 31-second range. Unless the track has gotten slower, they're about a second slower than their qualifying times.
Yeah, well, nobody took tires, and so right now their lap times are in the 32s. Only one with sub 32 is Cade Green back in 11. So wondering if he ended up accidentally taking tires. I'm not 100% sure.
He did take tires. I don't know if it's accidentally or not, but he did take tires. Okay. The only driver to take tires in that pit stop.
Yeah, because he's at his pit lane time was at 43 seconds, where everybody else was like 34, 35. Dustin Franklin with an excellent pit stop, 34.5. And matter of fact, is battling for the lead.
Yeah, the lead is down to nothing now, as it is now a new leader, Dustin Franklin, taking over the top spot. So maybe Tyler Hilton deciding he needs to save a little bit of fuel on this run, and maybe seeing what Dalton Kilrow did on that first one. I know you said 33, 34 laps could be the pit window, but I don't know. I mean, if you can get that much, I know you don't want to get short pit on too much, but I'd want to be safe. I want to make sure that I can get it all the way to the end with as few pit stops as possible. And if the pit window is, say 33 laps, they're going to have to go a full 33 on this run to make it back up there, because they pit on lap number 27. So to get it, kind of right to that halfway point, they're going to have to go 33. Meanwhile, Dalton Kilrow and James Yerger only have to go 30 if they want to keep it on that pace, or if they can stretch it out a little bit further, then they really don't have to save on that third and possibly final run before the final pit stop there. So see how it all plays out here, but I kind of like, once again, where that 41 is sitting, and maybe the 39 not too bad as well. Oh, as we got Hilton into the wall there, gets it off of it, but wonder if that's going to cause any kind of damage to the O2.
Yeah, he's still hanging in there. Obviously, probably it's not something that he wanted to experience, but just running that little higher line, and it starts getting a little testy out there, and he hasn't moved. He hasn't strayed away from that top line at all. So just keeping it out there, just keep running. He's falling back just a little bit, but plenty of race still to man, Carl. We just crossed the line to start lap number 40. Still 81 laps remaining here tonight. Franklin out there to just a little bit of a lead over EJ Luna. Mike Hasty now in 3rd. Robert Kahn back up in 4th. Dalton Kilrow's in 6th. Len McNeese, John Garrett, Cade Green, and James Yerger for your top 10.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now from Tyler Hilton, he hasn't lost the speed. He realizes he's way behind the 8 ball on fuel, because he pit on lap number 25 compared to everybody else. So it's going to be a lot tougher of a race for the O2, depending on the actual fuel mileage. So I think he knows he has to fall back here. He knows he needs a fuel safe run on this one. But the lights are on here at Chicagoland. We've got a good race so far. A third of the race is completed. We still got 80 more laps to go here before we crown our winner here in race number 5. Then we'll have 4 more races to finish out this year and this season for the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series before we head to 2026. Still no official word on what the vehicle will be, the vehicle of choice, at least for season 1. It sounds like they're going to be splitting it up, and it's going to be 2 different seasons in 2026. Not sure if it's going to be the ARCA car, and if it is, if it's going to be the new ARCA car, the legacy ARCA car that they used last season, or maybe they stick with these Xfinity cars right here. It seems to be certainly a popular vehicle on the iRacing circuits. We have the Core Xfinity series on Tuesday nights as well. So we'll see what they decide for 2026, but it's been a pretty good car for these drivers out here so far this season. And right now it's Dustin Franklin leading the way. Good battle for second place between EJ Luna and Mike Hasty.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing a good job here. We'll go back up front here as they're battling here real close. Because we got the 41 of Dalton Kill, or excuse me, I can't read tonight. 72 of Mike Hasty battling. They're trying to battle the 14, but maybe being pitched down there just a little bit, taking away that run. So Robert Kahn has squeaked his nose in there and called up on the back bumper on the number 14, moving the 21 into P number 3, but it doesn't take long for him to take the dive down to the inside of that 14, coming out of turn number 4 down across the straightaway. He's got a slight edge here so far going down to turn number 1, but you can see as they go down to the corner, 14 able to use that momentum to keep alongside. He's going to stay high here. We'll see how they come off to this corner here, as the 21 has enough room to move up in front of the 14. Yep, so concrete slide job, Carl.
Yep, a little asphalt slide job. I like seeing it. No crossover that time from the 14. We'll see if he wants to do it here, but he's a little too far back now, and now he's got his mirror full once again. The 72 of Mike Hasty. Michael Pratt's still back there outside the top 10, so he's right where he probably wants to be right now. That doesn't want to ruffle any feathers, doesn't want to get up there too quickly. So he's back there in 11th, but biggest mover of the race right now is Cade Green, as he's been running some pretty good laps since the pit stop. Obviously, with those new tires, trying to utilize them as much as possible. He's up now in the 8th position, so up 5 spots. EJ Luna, Mike Hasty, both up 4 spots. And the biggest droppers of the race, Len McNeese, James Yerger, and Eric Blunt in 7th, 10th, and 14th, respectively, all down 5 spots. We got some time, Jimmy, and while we're on a nice green flag run, as we typically get here at Virtual Velocity Racing, let me go ahead and step aside, listen to these cars under the lights here at Chicagoland. Would love to hear it.
Love to hear it coming up. Sights and sounds here at Chicagoland with VVR as our second round of pit stops is complete. On board a few drivers listening to the fuel saving that was needed to reach it to a certain point that they think is good for the race. Will they need to do that again or one or two more times? Will drivers put the pedal to the metal and try to make up that time that they don't have to save on a track? We've seen it before, Carl, where people try the extra pit stop and almost make it to the guy who's saving the fuel. So typically the guy able to save the fuel usually comes out on top, but we'll see if that's the plan here tonight. We got some of the best doing it here at VVR. Right now it's John Garrett out front over EJ Luna, then Dustin Franklin, Mike Hasty, Robert Kahn, Tyler Hilton, Cade Green, Len McNeese, Dalton Kilroe, and Michael Pratt for your top 10.
Well, typically what we see is those one or two drivers that are going to try and make it on one extra pit stop. That's it. But here tonight, it's only two drivers that have made the halfway point with two pit stops, and we'll need only one more pit stop the rest of the race, provided they get some good fuel mileage here again on this last little run for them before their final pit stop, and that is Dalton Kilroe and James Yerger. Now, interesting thing is James Yerger came in, got his fuel and 4 tires. Dalton Kilroe, only fuel. So I don't think he's taken a set of tires yet here in the race. Now, granted, he's in full-on save mode here. He's worried about the fuel, so maybe not burning the tires off too much, but I just kind of need to keep an eye on that gap from first to him right here, because you're looking. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad right now. But I'm wondering where it's going to be at the end of this run without taking those tires, because now you see it's already stretching out to an 8-second gap. You feel it's going to get a lot more by the end because they have new tires. They are going to be running full force. Kilroe maybe going to go for another long run here. He went 30 laps the first time, 31 on the second one. So, really, technically, probably only needs to go 29 on this one if he wants to try and, make it easy with the tires in the last run, but we'll see how it all plays out. It is 8.3 seconds right now from Kilroe up to the leaders, but he's got plenty of time to play with. I mean, granted, even if these drivers come in for that last pit stop and just a splash and go, it's still probably going to be around a 30-second pit stop with the pit lane time and everything like that. So as long as he doesn't fall behind 30 seconds between now and that final pit stop for everyone, I think he's sitting pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the lead lap. He's still in the top 10. Only 9 seconds back from the lead. He's running his own race. He's just minding his own. There's nobody around him to battle with, to slow him up. Nothing. So Kilroe is on that championship level pace where you don't worry about anybody else. You run your race. You run your strategy, especially when it comes to the green flag strategy. Because you never know what's going to happen. You can see how pit stops can be played, not only entering and stopping and executing the pit stop, but when the pit stop happens, so you can make it to the end of the field. And it usually comes with a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of practice on the track, or you've been here before, so you know how long that fuel is going to run. And it might be something that a few of these drivers noticed right off the bat. Like, if I just save a little bit, I can make it to this number, and we'll go from there, and we'll try to run this out. Now, if a caution came out like now, it would really throw in a wrench, because they would come in, they'd get new tires, they'd race it out, and they could only go about 30 laps, but they'd still have 20 laps to go. So everybody would be forced to take an extra pit stop anyways. And I'm sure the drivers that are on that they'll have to get a splash and go right at the moment. They're kind of hoping that would happen, but it's VVR. We're here green at Chicago from the start so far. 70 laps in the books, 69 laps in the book. Working on lap 70.
Yeah, good run for everyone out here once again. No shocker, but we did have a briefly there the newcomer leading the way and still battling right now with Mike Hasty at the front for the lead. That's EJ Luna to get a chance to lead a couple laps here on his debut in that 14. Good battle here for the lead as Hasty now to the point. You got the 14 there of EJ Luna, and then John Garrett there in third as like Luna a little shot there to Mike Hasty into the corner. So good battling up here, 3-car battle for the lead. Then another 0.8 of a second back to Dustin Franklin, who led quite a bit of this race as well. In fourth place, Robert Cotton back there in fifth. And then you got Len McNeese, Tyler Hilton, Cade Green, Dalton Kilrow, and Michael Pratt for your top 10. Yerger, Lee, Blunt, and Corwell for the rest of the field. Looks like Corwell is going to be done for the night, though. And right now, Eric Blunt down, I believe, 2 laps to the field, so we're really going to need some help here in the late stages to get anything going. But we got still about 50 laps left in this race. A lot to happen. John Garrett now coming in for his 3rd pit stop. So most of these drivers are locked in to a 4 pit stop strategy. So not surprised to see Garrett maybe coming in here doing a little short pit, try and get some track position.
Yeah, I'm gonna try here, get that down and out of the way. As you know, one of those times you just you committed when you started, when you came in on your first time in, and obviously know that you need to make it a little ways. So that he's come in here at lap 73, Carl. So pretty much on the money, I would say, for those 27 and 27 lap runs. We're getting some fuel down the way. Back on out there. You'll see them fall back to the field, but the other drivers will be coming in here soonish. Besides, Dalton Kilrow and James Yerger.
Yeah, and to give you an idea of where Dalton Kilrow is in respect to John Garrett, right now John Garrett needs to find a way in these last 45 plus laps here to reel in 21.5 seconds to get to Dalton Kilrow. So they're both technically right now looking at one more pit stop for the rest of the race. Kilrow's is going to be a full pit stop. I'm sure going to take tires as well. And John Garrett is going to be coming in fuel only, most likely, for that final pit stop. And maybe just a gas and go enough to get to the end of the race. So it could be a lot shorter of a pit stop. Maybe enough time to take 2 tires and see if that helps him out at all. But that's where he's going to gain some time on Dalton Kilrow. But can he gain more time out here on the track going full throttle right now since he's come out of the pits? Didn't take new tires, but he's already gained about a second on Kilrow, so he needs to keep chipping away, and certainly incidents like that are going to help as Kilrow brushes the wall a little bit. Maybe forgot that that backstretch isn't straight.
I mean, he's already in strong feel safe mode right now, and you could see the that gap number right now at 14 seconds. That's from the leader. A number he's not wanting to see is it hit above probably 25 to 30, and then he starts putting him in a little bit of a pickle, because if he stretches this thing out and is barely making 30, that means he's barely going to make 30 again. So he'll go in, but he'll have to come back out and still fuel save. So we will see. It's going to be close. It's definitely fun to watch and kind of talk about it, and what we're thinking. Obviously, not being in the car, it's kind of hard to judge, but we can hop on board with the 41, and it's no stranger that somebody that's going 3-4 laps longer than everybody else, they're coasting. You can hear it here with the car just kind of going silent. So definitely at least pushing in the clutch. And letting that car roll as much as possible. Like I said, we've talked about saving fuel here on iRacing, and it's about throttle management, where your throttle position's at. Not necessarily your RPMs, just wherever that throttle position is. So if you're basically, if you got it all the way down, you're using 100% of the fuel that you normally would use. If you're at 10%, then you're only using 10%. So and you could sometimes, when you're going in a certain gear, sometimes it's easy just to only have your throttle down to 75%, or when you're increasing speed, it's a slow increase, like so you don't just punch it to the ground. And it still takes time for the car to speed up, but just because you punch it to the ground doesn't mean it's going to instantly be at max speed. So if you know how to work that throttle slowly up, you can actually save fuel there. It doesn't seem like much, but over time, doing it over and over again, you'll find yourself saving fuel. But we're now across the line, working on lap number 80, so that means 41 laps to go. Mike Hasty is out front with EJ Luna and Robert Kahn.
I think the other thing that Kilroe needs to keep an eye on is that gap back to James Yerger, the other new one of the other newcomers here tonight. He's also on the same pit strategy, came in both times the same lap as Dalton Kilroe. It was about a 7-second difference between him and Kilroe when they came out of the pits. That's down to 2. So Yerger, not sure how much fuel saving. You can hear him fuel saving here as well. We'll see if he can make it to the same lap number as Kilroe. If he does, he could be looking pretty good here for this last run. Now, granted, Yerger is on a new set of tires compared to Kilroe being on those used. So again, wondering how much that's coming into play for this run right here. Kilroe is going to have a set of tires for the end. Not sure if Yerger has another set of tires left in the pits or not, but starting to see pit road get pretty busy here for the third pit stop for a lot of these drivers. Still waiting to see the top 5 come in to make their third pit stop here, including Dalton Kilroe now moving up into third position. But the gap is starting to get a little bit wider here for the 41. So again, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this thing plays out. I know some drivers, we had the race back at Talladega, not happy about the fuel saving and how they had to drive and everything like that. But honestly, it gives us clearly a ton to talk about for the race, and it's definitely great when we have these differing fuel strategies for the night, especially when you have 2 drivers, only 2, trying to make it on one last fuel stop.
Yeah, and it's managing that time. Obviously you can save the fuel, you can make it. They're proving that now. They can probably, obviously, they need to hit the magical number 90 on the 90th lap, then they can come in. But the saving fuel now, if they can at least save, say go to 92 or 93, they don't have to save as hard for those final laps. They'll probably have to save, but not quite as hard. So giving them the opportunity to, possibly drive a little bit harder into the corners or let off a little sooner, so they don't lose that much time to maybe somebody that's could just go pedal to the metal. But right now it is Robert Kahn out front. We're actually moving over back to Cade Green, taking the lead over from Robert Kahn as he is now in. So yeah, pit stops are happening, Carl.
Difference now between Kilroe and Yerger is down to 1.9 seconds, and actually, never mind. It's down to nothing. I was looking at the wrong thing again, as Yerger now gets ahead of Kilroe. Again, both these drivers pit on lap number 30, and then they both pit on lap number 61. But now Yerger may be feeling, you know what? I know I can drive this pace right here and make it to the end on one more pit stop. He reeled in Kilroe, made the pass, and this very well right here could be the battle that we're seeing for the end of the race for the win, and we're seeing it here on lap number 85. So it's pretty interesting how this thing is going to play out, as now everyone has made their third pit stop except for Yerger and Kilroe. They would complete it, but they're going to try and stretch this thing out to at least lap number 90 so they can ensure that they make it their last pit stop.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and bring up the gap. You can see how much they're leading over the field. Only about 12 seconds, Carl. So, and these drivers are going to be out there probably for another 3-4 laps. So, can the field close in that 12-second gap? We're about to find out. Right now, it does look like it's still growing, so that's a good thing for Yerger and Kilroe.
From Kilroe to Hasty, it's definitely not growing. It looks like Yerger's maybe going after it here and really running hard on this run. We'll see if he can make it to lap number 90. But Hasty is gaining on Kilroe, as is Garrett as well. And those are kind of going to be the ones that we need to watch to see what they can do throughout this final run, because when Yerger and Kilroe come in, again, they're going to be taking a full pit stop. These other drivers that already made their third pit stop. They only need to come in and take enough fuel to make it to the end. So it's going to be a shorter pit stop. How much will that be able to gain them towards these drivers that are staying out there right now? Only a 9.7 second gap from Kilrow to Hasty. As we close in on lap number 90, we'll keep an eye on that 39 because the 39 is not letting up. He is 2.3 seconds now ahead of Kilrow, running this thing out. Can he get to lap number 90 and maybe kind of run his own pace for the rest of this race?
Yeah, like, he was saving a little bit. We heard it in a few of the corners, but right now just trying to stretch it out just a little bit and give himself that little bit of a buffer zone. Make maybe the drivers behind him push a little bit harder, so hoping that he won't get away. But right now we're on lap number 90, so he has made the threshold here just to see when that 39 and the 41 will make their pit stop.
The key right here is he's still not coming in, and this is what's going to be big because he doesn't want to have to pit too many laps earlier than Kilrow, because if that's the case, he's going to have to save that little bit of extra fuel on that last run, and that can be where Kilrow reels him back in. So it's good look that he's still out there at least for one more lap. The lead's still stretching out. It's out to 3.4 seconds now from Yerger back to Kilrow. Looks like Franklin coming in to make his final pit stop of the race in the 73, and now here comes the 39 down into pit road to make his final pit stop. Will we see Kilrow come in now? Kilrow's going to stay out for at least one more lap, and I would think if Kilrow could stay out for even another lap, he would love to, and make that last run go as long as possible.
Franklin picks up a black flag in the pits.
No, he didn't. No, he's good.
I thought I seen a black flag. Yerger.
No, Yerger's good also. You're one to see this thing get really mixed up here, but I didn't see anything. At least maybe Yerger did. It's already cleared now. He's down and away, so he's good to go. And now in the pits comes Dalton Kilrow. So this will complete their last pit stop. Everyone else in the field, other than Kilrow, Yerger, and Franklin, will need to make another pit stop. Looks like, everyone else is going to have to make a pit stop. So now, what can these leaders do? You got EJ Luna now in the lead. Mike Hasty now coming down to make his final pit stop, and he slid a little bit too far in his box. Had to back up just a smidge. As Kilrow is about to be down and out. There it is. He is down and out of the pits. Yerger goes on by. So that is potentially the battle for the win here tonight. And it's a pretty sizable gap there, as Yerger pit time in his box, 14.5 seconds. Kilrow, 15.03. So the 39 did have another set of tires, and a 5-second gap is what we got from Yerger back to Kilrow. Can the other drivers that have to make another pit stop do something to stop them from winning? The gap from first back to Yerger is 28 seconds. That's tantalizingly close.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty close at the moment. As you can see, Yerger out in front of EJ Luna.
I thought we had a yellow there for a second because Blunt very slow on the backstretch.
Yeah.
We are going to keep this thing green. Not sure what happened to the 6 there, but that got very close to really mixing things up. As we see McNeese and Garrett in the pits. Garrett is down and out. We'll see how far behind Kilrow he is going to be. It's going to be a pretty decent margin. Still dropping, but still a shot. So we'll see what Garrett has in store for the final run of this race. But Kilrow's got about a 5.5-second gap on him. How much fuel, if any, does Kilrow need to save, and will that be enough for Garrett to catch back up? As Hasty and Franklin now pass Garrett as well. So it's 5.6 seconds, the difference between Kilrow and Hasty, but Yerger 4.5 seconds right now ahead of Kilrow. And you got to figure, Jimmy, if Yerger's going to have to save any kind of fuel, you want to do it now. You want to do it early on in this run, get it out of the way, so that way at the end of this race, if and when Kilrow catches up to you, you can battle him. You have the fuel to just go full throttle and actually get after it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to have to save a little bit. Obviously, you got EJ Luna out front right now, trying to run his race and possibly, get a win, maybe hold out for a caution here. But everybody now is, in that window, no matter who they are, would be able to come in, make their stop, and get out there and finish the race tonight. But right now, EJ Luna maybe waiting for something. Robert Kahn obviously wasn't fuel saving at all. Cade Green wasn't fuel saving. Tim Lees currently in 4th place, wasn't fuel saving. And that James Yeager, is who we're watching right now, as he's in front of Dalton Kilroe. And they're at 5th and 6th right now. Mike Hasty back there, he came in fairly early as well. And then Dustin Franklin.
So I was about to call BS there for a second, because I just happened to look over at the top speeds for the race, and everyone in the high 180s, a lot of them in the low 190s. But for a couple seconds there, it registered Dalton Kilroe his top speed today of a 209. Like, hold on a second, that doesn't seem right. And I guess it's finally corrected itself back to 188, which makes a little bit more sense. But I was starting to start to smell a little fishy there for a second. But either way, looks like Tim Lee in the pits. There you see Michael Pratt down and out of the pits. Cade Green now coming in to make his final pit stop of the race. And now here comes EJ Luna into the pits. This was your leader of the race. Robert Kahn's going to transfer over into the lead, but I'd be interested to see where EJ Luna comes out in respect to Dalton Kilroe, because that should be the closest battle that we'll see to the end of this race. Does EJ Luna have a set of tires left in the pits? Does he want to take a set of tires, or does he want to just take a splash of fuel and get out there? Looks like fuel only here for the 14. Down and away. Taking a look at where the 41 is on the track. And right there, going by right now. So that is the difference. But now Kilroe is on a new set of tires. Luna has got some used tires on there, so it's going to be really, really tough for that 14 to catch up to the 41. But meanwhile, it is still Yerger out front, maybe doing a little bit of fuel saving, because the lead now, well, not the lead, but the gap for him over Kilroe is down just under 2 seconds. So Kilroe getting after it here. Maybe Yerger saving a little bit of fuel yet to make it to the end, but we're less than 20 laps to go here. It is getting very interesting here at Chicagoland to round this thing out.
Yeah, another race, wrapping up here to be a great finish, and, based on everybody's pit strategy. So if you're one of those drivers like pit strategy races, taking tires, fuel calculations, plenty of green flag runs, VVR might be for you. Hit up Tim Lee over there. They got a Facebook page, so you can just look up Virtual Velocity Racing on Facebook and request to join their community over there, and he can get you all hooked up to run here at VVR here on Thursday nights. But right now, Robert Kahn enjoying his lead over the field with James Yerger in P number 2, Dalton Kilroe in P number 3. Possibly your battle for the winner here tonight between those two, as they are trying to finish this race on this stop. EJ Luna back there in P number 4. John Garrett in 5th. Dustin Franklin is in 6th. Mike Hasty finds himself in 7th. Len McNeese, after that great start here tonight, is back in 8th. Cade Green up 4 spots in 9th. Tim Lee's still hanging out in 10th, where he started the evening. Tyler Hilton is back there in 11th after getting a few laps led, but chose the wrong pit strategy call.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't worked out, and maybe using up those tires at the wrong time there for Tyler Hilton as well. But once again, just taking a look at that car, I want to thank our sponsors here for the series, Goldline Guardians, Forward Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs, for everything that they do to help out the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series. We're still waiting for Robert Kahn to make his final pit stop. Should be coming here within the next few laps. And will he have anything to say in the mix of this win, but I think we're about to have a battle brewing for what ultimately could be the battle for the win, as the distance between Yerger and Kilroe down under a second. It's down to 0.9 right now from Yerger back to Kilroe. 7 more seconds back to EJ Luna in fourth place right now. So this is going to be your battle for the win of this race, because Khan will need to come in for another pit stop here. I mean, he's got a 24-second gap, Jimmy. I mean, can he stretch this thing out? Can he make it a 36-lap run? I mean, it's a far stretch, and it doesn't look like he's saving
31, maybe 32.
I mean, if you coast around for 2 laps, you could probably still keep a lead. So maybe.
Is it 50% throttle for 2 laps or 3 laps? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he tries that strategy, but I doubt it. I think Khan will come in. Yeah, he's in pit lane now, so we'll throw that one out the window. It was a crazy idea, Carl. Why did we even think of it?
Why not? Well, option C. I'm sure Ferrari would think of it, and it'd be another one that just wouldn't work for them. But coming through 3 and 4 right now, you're looking from Kilroe up to Yerger there. That is the gap for now the lead, because Khan is in the pits. He makes his final pit stop. He's going to be falling back. We'll see how far he goes back, because he's already gotten passed by Yerger and Kilroe. Coming out of the pits right now, looks like he may be able to hang on to third place, as he took fuel only on the stop here, but it's less than a half a second from Yerger to Kilroe. And now there we go. There goes John Garrett and EJ Luna just getting past him on the backstretch, as Garrett is trying to do his best. He's got newer tires, than Kilroe and Yerger, trying to run them down, but it's going to be a tall feat. 8 seconds is the gap from Garrett to the top 2 right now, and we've got about 10 laps to go to do it. I think it's going to be out of reach here, but certainly not out of reach for Kilroe, because he has got now 0.4 of a second between him and Yerger, and plenty of lap traffic to deal with.
Yeah, and that might be what's holding up Yerger just a little bit. Obviously trying to stretch field just a little bit, and trying to get around traffic and not get stuck to a point where he's got to have a bad run, but hopefully maybe the 41. But enough of that. Here as the 41 is now on that back bumper. The distance has disappeared. 2/10 separate the first and second place here with 10 laps to go.
Now, if Yerger was able to save enough fuel here to run to the end, maybe he's got a shot still. Maybe this thing is not over just yet. Coming back to the line, 9 laps to go. So he's got to save this thing for 9 more laps to get to the end of this thing. But he's got a very hungry number 41, looking to try and go back-to-back after an absolutely dominating performance at Richmond last week. So he's trying to go back-to-back here and get 2 wins in a row after he grabbed his first one last week. But again, there's lap traffic in here. It's still kind of playing a part. I mean, Tyler Hilton is right there, but he's battling with Cade Green for 9th and 10th position right now. So it's not like, he can just let off here. He wants to get up there. He wants to be in the mix, let alone the fact that that's a battle for the lucky dog spot as well. If a caution were to come out here late, they'd be back on the lead lap. So this is, an important battle for both of them as well. Meanwhile, it's happening right behind our leaders onto the backstretchers. 8 laps remaining in this race. You see Yerger down the bottom trying to block that bottom line, but he's going to get a hampered entry into 3 and 4. Can the 41 run around the outside? Not going to happen this time by. It's still going to be Yerger at the front.
8 laps to go, and like you said, they're battling each other, so it's all about fuel and being able to make it. And you can see the 41 just holding 39 down there. This time by here, but 39 still able to get enough momentum and drift up and take a little bit of that momentum away from the 41 as they head down into turns 3 and 4. Looks like Dalton Kilroe will run that outside, try to get that run on from the outside, bring it down to the inside into turn number 1, but not this time either. So this time by, we will have 6 laps to go.
6 to go. Good run through the try over there for the 41. He's going to send it to the high side again, trying to get that car to rotate mid-corner to get on the quarter panel of the 39, and he's got to get it this time. Can Yerger do anything to battle back, get a little side draft down the backstretch? Going to send it down on the inside of turns 3 and 4, but the 41 has got a good run this lap, getting close to contact there. 39 still going to be side by side at the line. Give that lap lead to Kilroe. He's going to try and get it done the hard way around the outside here. Both drivers not letting anything go here. They are not saving any more fuel. They're running this thing to the end, and it is completed there for the 41 as Kilroe now to the point, and it's going to be tough for Yerger to fight back here at the end. We'll see what he's got left in that 39, but either way, Jimmy, even if this is done and dusted for the win, you got to give it to Yerger here for his debut, certainly showing out.
Yeah, definitely put on a show here tonight, able to save fuel and run with last season's champion, and not far off, and to have a race like this under green the whole way, and the finish this close is just impressive for all the drivers.
So it looks like first place may be done and dusted here. Second place as well. Third place is John Garrett, and he's got a pretty sizable lead, about 2.2 seconds over EJ Luna for third place. But Luna has got his mirrors full of Robert Kahn, as is the battle for fourth and fifth. Looks like, not sure what happened to Dustin Franklin, but he jumps into pit lane, so not sure, maybe he didn't have enough fuel to make it here to the end. This is the battle right here for fourth and fifth, best battle on the track, and really one of the only battles on the track other than the battle we've seen there with Tyler Hilton and Cade Green right behind our leaders. But at the line, it is now going to be 2 laps to go here for Dalton Kilroe, looking for back-to-back wins here. He's got a half a second lead over James Yerger. Stretch. I got about 2 miles left in this race. Dalton Kilroe had the right strategy here. As long as he can make it 1.5 more miles, and he got the same thing for James Yerger. Definitely the right strategy. He tried to go out there, go hard in that second, or not I guess the second run, whatever you want to call it, his last run out there. He tried to go hard out there, try and build a big enough gap over Kilroe to hold on at the end, and nearly did it. Really only came a few laps short of getting it done here tonight, but had the right strategy as well. From here he could coast on home if he needed to, but it sounds like both of them have enough fuel to make it to the end. Right pit strategy here, the right amount of fuel is going to get back-to-back wins here for Dalton Kilroe at Chicagoland. James Yerger, great debut here, going to come home in second. John Garrett now coming out of the final corner. He's going to bring it home in third place. So Garrett's going to get another interview here tonight. EJ Luna, another one with a good debut, coming on with a top 5, holding off Robert Kahn here at the end for the top 5. Mike Hasty going to come home with a good 6th place finish. Len McNeese started on the front row, and kind of what could have been, maybe he went a little bit too hard on that first run. He's going to finish back here in 7th. Tyler Hilton had his day in the sunshine as well, going to finish in 8th. Cade Green, Tim Lee for your top 10. Then we got Michael Pratt, Eric Blunt, Dustin Franklin, and Austin Carwell for your 14-car field, as Pratt shows his love for Chicagoland, I think, right there. But hats off once again to the 41.
Yeah, just a great run there by Dalton, being able to execute, and just we've talked to him about it before. About I know I had the last time I talked to him about just the discipline it takes to kind of get set in your ways, and knowing that you have a long goal at the end, and that's what champions do. And he put it together here tonight with plenty of fuel and enough fuel to battle Yerger at the end there, and be able to make that pass for the lead with just a few laps to go, and walk away tonight with a win. So Dalton Kilroe will be your winner over James Yerger, and then John Garrett, like we said. And then let me take off this ticker here and bring up the race results here, so you can see where everybody was at all together now. But EJ Luna there in 4th, Robert Kahn, Mike Hasty, Len McNeese, Tyler Hilton, Cade Green, Tim Lee for your top 10, Michael Pratt, Eric Blount, Dustin Franklin and Aston Corwell for your 14 driver field here tonight.
Well, we got our top three here ready and waiting for their interviews. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs. I want to thank all the fans out there in CRN Nation as well. Hit that like and subscribe to help the YouTube algorithm and get you in touch with everything that we have to offer. But top three here, going to bring them in for their interviews. And we'll let Jimmy get it all set up here. But it was a good one here. Really, kind of two different pit strategies for the race. One was a 4-stopper, and the other one was a 3-stopper, plain and simple. But it was the 3-stopper that ended up playing out perfectly for our top two. But third place here tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 66 of John Garrett.
Hey, John, Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Hey there. Copy.
Welcome back. Obviously, you made your decision early for your pit stops, and you came out with a great finish. But those that were able to save just a little bit more fuel were able to edge you out here tonight. Kind of give you an idea what made you decide with the 4-stop strategy vice the 3.
Yeah, I think it was only those two guys that pulled it off. Yeah, I'm just miserable when I try to save fuel. It's no fun. So I just decided early on I'm going to go all out, and besides saving a little tire in that first run with, not enough tires for every pit stop, I ran pretty much wide open the whole race. I found the high line thanks to my teammate Tyler, and then EJ Luna Panic was up there running it also, and I found that. And man, the longer the run went, it just felt better and better because it would rotate up there. So it was fun up there. I couldn't run those guys down, but still fun race and a good points night for my championship run here.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think you did a pretty good job. It's we've seen it time and time again. The person that decides to go all out, because it is a lot more fun to actually drive instead of, there's a lot of discipline when it comes to, just running those laps and saving fuel, over again, whether it's cutting the engine or just coasting or whatever they need to do in order to make those distances. But sometimes it can get monotonous and a little boring. And I think you're right. I think I'm on page with you with I'm just going to run all out, and it's just going to be where it is. And you got close tonight, but just not quite enough for those to eliminate that one extra pit stop. So I want to say congratulations for a great finish here tonight, and give you some time for any shouts on number 66.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was getting on my 10th lap, and that just wasn't going to do it, but it was still fun. And I had a great race with EJ Luna there for a couple of laps. We were swapping out the lead, and that was fun. Real respectful driver. So hopefully he joins the long season. But want to thank Fort Worth Screen Printing, of course, the Athens Screen Printing, HRE Performance, the camping crew, and of course you guys, and Tyler's Pinktober were supporting here, and Tim in the league, and hope to have another good race next week.
Definitely looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Again, congratulations on your third place finish here tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's your third place finisher here tonight, the 66 of John Garrett. Second place here tonight on his debut is going to be the 39 of James Yerger. And James, you had the right strategy here. You almost pulled it off. It looked like you kind of went after it a little bit in your third stint out there, and tried to build that gap over Dalton Kilbro, and it was really almost enough. Only came up a few laps short here. But I guess the first question is, when did you decide that this was going to be the strategy that was going to be the best for the night?
I was looking at it. It was showing 21 or 27 laps while we were sitting there, and I knew just coasting it. I tried it a little bit in practice, and you could save fuel and still run about the same lap time. So I pretty much saved from the get-go.
Well, it certainly worked out, and you were able to pit right there with Kilroe on lap 30, right there with Kilroe on lap number 61. You're falling back a little bit in those first couple of stints, but then the third stint, it looked like you were saving a little bit in the beginning, and then all of a sudden you started going after it. You reeled in Kilroe, and you passed him, and you gapped him. Do you think that ultimately gave you a shot, or do you think that maybe kind of cost you in the end?
Honestly, that's what gave me a shot. Before I went in, we were on equal tires until that second pit stop, the start of the third stint. I took tires there. He didn't. He came out. I was 6 seconds back before pit. He came out 12 ahead because of not taking tires, and I had to run him down to even have a chance. And I figured once I caught him and passed him, I'd try to get as much gap because I knew he'd be strong on equal tires.
Well, listen, ultimately, none of the strategies would have worked if you guys didn't go 120 laps green here tonight. So congrats on everyone out there for doing a great job and giving us the other show that you guys did here at the end. But before we let you go and get out of here and celebrate the second place finish here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Dalton Kilrow actually recommended the league to me today, and I just joined today. So first race with everybody. It's a great group of drivers. I mean, I had nothing bad to say about any of them, and they all drove great and with a lot of respect. And I love that in a league. I don't care how many cars show up to a race. I just want to have fun and be able to race hard and clean with people.
Yeah, it's usually good formula to have for sure, and that's certainly something they have here at VVR. So, congrats on your podium here on your debut. We'll see what you can do next week at Daytona.
All right, thank you guys.
Sure.
That's your second place finisher here tonight, the 39, James Yerger, top spot here tonight, back-to-back weeks. Had to work a little bit on this one, but it's the 41 of Dalton Kilrow.
Dalton, Jimmy, and Carl in the booth. You copy, buddy?
Gotcha.
Hey, you did it again, man. And it just never ceased to amaze me that you are able to commit to such a long strategy as in fuel saving. Able to just time in and time out after the pit stop, just keep the pace, keep saving where you need to save, and give yourself enough juice at the end to pass somebody that you actually recommended joining you all here tonight and gave you a run for your money. So just want to say congratulations, man. Give us a little rundown on your race and how it was out there. And obviously we know the dedication it takes for fuel saving.
Yeah, I at first in practice I didn't even think fuel saving was going to be an option. I've run well here in the past, and I didn't think that there was that much of an ability to save that much fuel and stretch it that far, especially since, you know, when you're pushing, you only got 26 to 27 laps on a tank. So I figured saving 5-6 laps a run is going to be brutal to even try. You'd probably lose too much time, but it started trying a couple laps into the race and I was like, oh my God, this is actually going to work. Do I really want to do this? And I knew he was doing it. The 39, I knew he was doing it. So I was just trying to cover him best I could. I thought I threw it away on that second pit stop when I didn't take tires because I forgot I had told my team I didn't want tires about halfway through that run. And I was coming into the pits, I was like, yay, about to get some fresh rubber on this thing. And then they didn't jack the car up and they just filled it with fuel and sent me on my way. And I was like, oh God. Almost blew the right front by the end of that. I think there was like 9% tread left on the right front tire. So if I pushed any harder, I was going straight into the wall and would have brought out the only caution this race would have had. So got lucky there, and then James made me earn it on that last run. I had to run him down to 5 seconds and then get around him once I got to him. So he put up a real good fight, and just glad I was able to have a good race with him.
Yeah, it's always good to, have a great race, a clean battle with somebody, especially after you just invited him over here and he joined up today. So it'll give you plenty of competition for many races to come, I'm sure, if he decides to hang out here at VVR. From our understanding, it sounds like he enjoyed himself here tonight. So I would imagine he'll be back to continue to give you that run for your money here tonight. But yeah, you did it again, man. You executed everything you needed to. Whether you took tires or not, but definitely were able to get it done here. So again, congratulations on your win here tonight. But before we let you get out of here, definitely want to give you some time for any shouts on at number 41.
Well, as I always do, I got to thank MFRD. Got to thank James and and Robert for hanging out with me tonight. You guys for doing the broadcasts. Everybody at VVR for putting the league on. Everybody at home for tuning in. We do it for all. Barry, my guy. Hope I made you happy again. And just got to thank everybody for coming on out and trying to fill the field most as we can over this little fun summer series. But I know it's going to kick up when the 2026 season starts. So excited for that and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think this is a good series to get out here and kind of test the waters with a different car here for the league. And then definitely putting on a great show for everybody that's showing up. 14 cars out here tonight, so that's a pretty decent field for some great runs. We'll give Hemi a shout out there as he was out there watching y'all, saying that he just missed the race here tonight. But again, congratulations.
No, Hemi!
Just again, congratulations there on the win, man. And we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
That's good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is your winner here tonight, the 41 of Dalton Kilrow, getting it done for back-to-back weeks on 2 different tracks here, as he won at the 3/4 mile Richmond and dominating performance here tonight. Did it on fuel saving at the 1.5 mile Chicagoland. Next week, he's going to have to do it, and he's going to need some friends to do it as well, because we're at Daytona for 100 laps. So that's going to be a very interesting one. We'll see if that one will bring out a caution, which would seem like our first caution of the season, because there's so many green flag laps here in VVR. But certainly if a caution comes out of Daytona, it's usually not just one car. It's not just one person self-spinning and bringing out a caution. It could very well be the big one. But you're going to have to tune in next week to find that out. Again, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, both for myself and Jimmy here from the Midwest at Chicagoland. We'll see you at the track.